maybe a tad earlier. The Nissan is in the pit lane. He's not going to have to worry about the overlap. But this time, Dylan McEvan is a little closer. Oh, there's damage. Damage to the back of the Stevenson car. The left rear of the bumper is in the wind at the moment. And going down to turn 1, it is blowing out as if it was a parachute. Now, when has that happened? Surely not behind the safety car. But it must have been that. That's extraordinary. Has he had a tap from behind? That's the only thing I can think in the safety car queue. And he slides the back end of the 57 car. The GS field went through 3 abreast with the McLarens and the Porsche of Damien Faulkner, who's had a cracking restart up into 8th position and ahead of his teammate Mark Miller. And now 3 McLarens ahead of Damo, and he's closing in on them, and he's dragging the 33 with him in ST. Owen Trinkler had a good restart from Tyler Cook, and the very fast Audi of Pierre Kleiner being Britt Casey Jr. in the 27 Mazda. So drama, Jeremy, at the head of the field. All of that running behind the safety car. We didn't notice that there was damage to the left rear. Shea Adam, news from the pit lane. Shea.
The 57 has been alerted that they do need to maintain that bumper. It either needs to come off the car on the track of its own accord, or it needs to come into the pit lane and be ripped off. They are getting ready for the car to come in the pit lane if it doesn't fall off on its own soon.
Any news about how that was caused?
They were hit by the 28 behind the safety car.
No way!
Mm-hmm.
Oh, dear me.
You said the number 57 car didn't slow down. I wonder whether it did.
Well, out of our sight, yes.
Yeah.
Well.
Didn't seem to be keeping a constant
Well, it
speed,
might not be that much of an issue, because the 65 of Tim Probert, the Porsche in ST 14th position, is way off to the infield. And he's about as close to the middle of the 2 parts of the track as he could possibly be.
Yeah.
And he's taken a wild ride to get in there. Looks like another turn 10 incident. Well, he's got back on again. White flag is waving. It's both sides of the bumper now. The whole bumper is about to fall off. Now, it could do Robin a favour if it just fell off, but he will be getting the black and orange flag. Well, Robin will be absolutely fuming if he got to come in and gives away a race lead with 20 minutes to go. And the person that is going to benefit is the leader of the championship, who caused the damage in the first place. As into the pit lane comes a Porsche. That was Connor Bloom in the 18 car. Stephen McAleer back into the pit lane as well for the 25 Mazda. The bumper's off. Oh, no, it's not. Only half of the bumper's off.
And that's certainly not good where it is right now. I mean, that is pretty dangerous, hanging there off the back of the car on both sides now.
Correct. They're not very thick.
I'm afraid they're
but that's got to come in.
Yeah.
Shea Adam down in the pit lane.
Yeah, just talking with the teams, when they were testing the car initially, they had an issue where the bumper fell off on its own, so they made sure that it would not fall off by securing it in the middle. So
yes, and I can see that strap in the middle, Shea. You're spot on. There's a red strap, and that's the only thing that's holding it on, and that's going to cost them a race. That's going to cost them a race victory, unless Dylan McEvan does them a favour and runs over it. He's right up the tail of that car.
Robin Liddell is moving that car around in defence there to making sure there's no way
Trent Hinman all of a sudden thinks he's got half a chance of getting back on the lead lap here, Jeremy, because if Robin goes into the pit lane, which he surely must, then he's only got 1 Porsche to pass, and he's back on the lead lap.
Yeah, he won't bring it in until he actually sees the black flag, so he's going to try and stay out.
He's going to lose the position anyway. It's obviously affecting the handling and the straight line speed of that car, and the black and orange flag is out over the start-finish line for the 57. Through goes McEvan, and also through goes Trent Hinman. No, Robin fights round the outside, and it's side-by-side through turn 1. Liddell goes wide. Now, he's got 1 Porsche that's gone by him. Into turn 3, he's got the inside line, but I can't believe he can hold on to that. And the championship leader leads the race as well. What drama here, Jeremy, what drama. And this will be a talking point. We have not seen the incident that has taken the bumper off, or loosened the rear bumper off the 57 car. But if it was indeed behind the safety car, and it was indeed the 28, well, that's going to cause a talking point, isn't it? Because the 28 is at the moment benefiting from that black and orange flag. 3 laps before he's got to come into the pit lane. Oh, one big strap that they have fixed onto that is holding it on. That would have been gone 2 laps ago. You can't write these scripts, can you?
No, that's quite remarkable. And Dylan McAvan there been a little bit defensive, and well, you know, just he's not pushing the car to the limit. But I tell you what, Robin Liddell is absolutely pushing his car to the limit.
If I'm Dylan McAvan, I think if Robin gets close enough, I let him go back through, because you know he's got to stop. And I don't want any argy-bargy.
I want to be clear of him.
Well,
I don't
yes,
want him,
if you can.
Here comes Trent Hinman now. He's going to make a move to the inside, up on the left-hand kink into the right-hander. Not able to make that pass, so the lapped car of Trent Hinman remains behind a second-place car, Robin Liddell.
I've just spotted a couple of yellow and red flags out at the top of the hill there. Shea Adam may be able to tell me why the slippery surface flag has been deployed. Shea?
The 18 RS1 Porsche that was badly damaged in that crash, that was the first yellow flag, just came onto the pit lane, dripping a large trail of oil behind it, smelling very bad and with a lot of white smoke. So that would be why, and it left quite a bit of oil out around the circuit as well. The 65 has made it back into the pit lane, and it too is dripping fluid from beneath the back of that Porsche. So not a good time right now.
It's Connor Bloom and Tim Probert in the...
Cosmo, how did he fall back that far? He went off in the previous lap. Okay.
Yeah. Excellent. Thank you, Jeremy. You're right. He was right there. Dean Martin now back up into 3rd position. And by the way, Trent Hinman...
he was off in the final sector on that lap somewhere.
Well, I wonder if that was the oil that we were talking about, because that's where I saw. And Robin Liddell went wide, didn't he, the previous lap? Trent Hinman has got past Robin Liddell and now has a couple of seconds and less, perhaps, between himself and the leader to get back on the lead lap, having really missed the chance to be on the lead lap earlier on, and they really will be kicking themselves now, Jeremy, because Trent has got some pace in that car. Damien Faulkner continues to lap well. He's up into 7th position with Mark Miller just in behind him.
Tell you, the other guy's on the move. There's number 54. That's Stephen Simpson.
Yes.
He's up into 4th place in the class. That would be equal that team's best result. Sharing with Michael Johnson, paralysed from the waist down. Yes, paralysed from the waist down, chest down, I should say, is Michael Johnson, who drove his first stint in that JDC Miller Motorsports bright yellow BMW.
So Robin Liddell, I know that he will be talking to the team. I thought I saw the black and orange flag a couple of laps ago, but that was a fleeting glance of the starter stand. Shea's going to go and have a proper look as they come round this time, round the final corner. Oh, it's so nearly falling off. Nearly falling off.
It's such a shame they put that strap on there.
Well, it had been gone 3 laps ago if it had, Jeremy. No flag at the start-finish line. No flag at the start-finish line, okay. Well, doing exactly the right thing. It's clearly hurting the performance of the car, because it's working like a huge parachute behind the car down the straight. It's really slowing him down.
I wouldn't want to be following that, I can tell you that.
Well, he's pushing on. It's now the best thing it could probably do is sort of ingest itself under the car, get it under the wheels and pull the rest of it off. Extraordinary turn of events. Trent Hinman, by the way, right up on Dylan McAvan. Now, Robin Liddell still in 2nd place, but about to go to 3rd as Dean Martin gets up alongside, tries to go on the inside. Robin will presumably know, because the team will be telling him that he's going, why is it not pulling down the straights? And they're going, because you've got the rear bumper falling off. All of the marshals watching very, very carefully to see if it falls off. And they have to put out a debris flag. We're inside 13 minutes. Yes, 13 minutes just on to go. Battle for ST is hotting up again with Owen Trinkler and Tyler Cook. Owen has driven a sterling race, as did his teammate Sarah Catania before that, having got up to the lead, dropped to 2nd, then dropped all the way down to, I think, 6th. Fought her way back up.
And both of these two teams are looking for an overdue first win on the season.
Pierre Kleinebing, though, is the man on the move again. That Audi very quick. He's dropped back from this leading pair, but his first sector there was very quick indeed. Tyler Cook doing that car's best lap of the race last time around, that car being the 84, the black and white BMW, going out of the Oak Tree corner now. ST battles all the way down the top 10, by the way. McEvan by 1.8 seconds. Robin Liddell somehow managing to wring lap times in the 57s out of that car, which I'm finding extraordinary. Spencer Pumpelly going up the outside of Britt Casey Jr. down the long back straight as the ST leaders coming down through the roller coaster and into Hogpen, the last corner, almost 2 corners really, 17A and B. And after all kinds of trials and tribulations this week that has barely seen the 44 Nissan on the track, Sarah Catania qualifying just 3.5 tenths away from pole position after just 4 laps in the car before going out to qualify. What an extraordinary turnaround this would be.
Yeah, and we heard Owen Trinkler talking to us. He's been in the booth several times this weekend and told us he had a really good feeling about this race. He loves this racetrack. This is pretty much his home racetrack from Tennessee, and he loves coming here. Does a lot of instructing here, actually conducting a school here next couple of days, I think, isn't he?
Yeah,
so,
Monday and Tuesday.
Yeah, so you know, it's a place he absolutely adores. The car's working clearly very, very well around here, but it's also a home race for the Bimmer World team. They're based only 100 miles or so away in Dublin, Virginia. So you know, both of these 2 cars, leaders in ST, have local connections.
Owen Trinkler with his best first sector of the race, and that's helped him to ease out to just over half a second of a lead. Remember, just front tyres replaced at that one and only pit stop for the Nismo, or the Nissan Altima, the 44, the bright purple car. Robin Liddell's just gone through and still has the bumper barely hanging on. Meanwhile, Trent Hinman is with the leader, and McEvan now does need to let that car through, Jeremy. There's no point in him fighting Trent Hinman at this stage of the game. With 10 minutes left, yes, it's going to put Hinman onto the lead lap, but he can defend, but he doesn't want to defend too stoutly that there's any kind of coming together, because this is a nailed-on victory right now for the championship leaders. Yeah,
indeed so. You're absolutely right there. And number 76 car lost a bit of ground on that. That must have had some sort of in the middle sector, 8 seconds lost by Matt Plum, former champion, the most successful driver in this championship with 22 wins to his name.
Nico Ronde
is his teammate,
and he's in 4th, and he's just done the fastest lap for the 77 McLaren as he tries to close in on the leading trio. Intriguing last 10 minutes in store. Stay tuned to us here, Sound and Vision together on IMSA TV and radio. Jeremy Shaw, John Hindhaugh and Shea Adam live from trackside at VIR. And Robin Liddell trying absolutely everything to stay ahead of the 59 of Dean Martin, the Chevy Camaro, with a slight disadvantage in straight line speed, and Dean Martin's got position this time. He's up to the rear wheel, he's up to the driver's door, he eases up side by side as they come into the braking area, and surely Robin Liddell can't hold on. He's going to try, he gets to the apex first. Great driving from both of those drivers, and Robin Liddell will not be denied this second position. My goodness, that was brilliant stuff from both. Absolutely not a paper's width between them. I thought Martin had got it there, but Robin Liddell got to the apex of the middle of the roller coaster at turn 14-15, quickest and earliest, and was then able to hold on. 8.5 minutes to go, Jeremy.
Yeah, that was really good driving, wasn't it, by both of those 2? And you're right, the Ford had the advantage going through that left-hand kink, but the next corner, turn 14, is the right-hander.
Correct.
And that's where Robin Liddell was able to brake deep enough to keep himself alongside. Just no room for the Ford to turn in, so the Chevy maintains its advantage and that narrow second place.
And I can't believe that bumper is staying on. They've clearly fixed it on way too well. They need to learn from touring car teams where you have 2 fasteners that hold it on. If you get one hit on it, it falls off.
They're allowed to continue like that, to be perfectly honest.
Well, yes, I wonder if the circumstances of it happening is informing the decision or non-decision thereof from race control. We haven't seen what happened. They may have.
Oh, I mean, whatever, it's affecting number 59 car behind him. That's for absolute surety.
So here at VIR, we've got 7.5 minutes to go, and Robin Liddell fighting in immense rearguard action. Dylan McEvan is still out front. To check and tell you whether Trent Hindman has got by yet.
Not yet.
Right. Trent will be trying because he's only a safety car away from making up positions, and therefore getting more points.
That bumper flapping around.
How's it not come apart, Jeremy? How's it not, split at least into two?
Yeah.
And at that point, it's all right. If he can lose the biggest part of it, he's probably going to get some performance back as well.
I'm sure,
yeah.
Yes.
I've never seen anything like this. And I remember I worked at British Touring Cars for a long time, and bits of cars hanging off was an every race occurrence back in the Super Touring days. And Dylan McEvan is under pressure at turn 1 and 2 at the Horseshoe. He slides a little bit wide. And I think if that was a pass for position, Trent Hindman might have been a little more aggressive there, but he's laid back from the RS1 machine, knowing it's the leader. Has to make this cleanly. Has to make this cleanly if he's going to go through.
Yeah, and Hindman on previous lap set his best lap of the race, actually, in that number 12 car, but still unable to find a way past number 28. And the two Dylans here, brilliant first stint by Dylan Murcott, and now Dylan McEvan doing continuing the good work. And they've had 3 second place finishes in a row, John. They lead the championship. This is exactly what they want here as a win.
Yeah, and what they've got also, Jeremy, is cars between them and their championship rivals.
Many cars.
Yeah, exactly so. And where's the next car? The 77 McLaren, that's sort of with a shout there. Then you're looking for the 33 really then, aren't you? And that's down in 7th position at the moment. Although presumably Damien Faulkner, if he can't drive away from Mark Miller, will be asked to give that position and a few extra points to the 33 car. Teammates, of course. It's now like a black plastic bin liner sack. That's rear bumper. Now, you see, now you've got a problem. Pieces of it falling off, and it is piecemeal. Now, is that more or less dangerous? I would say it's more dangerous.
Ridiculously dangerous, quite frankly.
You could cut the tyre on that.
Yeah, but if it flies off, it flies into the, at best, probably the grill, the radiator of the Ford right behind it.
Yeah, I'm sure that John Stevenson is saying to race control, oh, come on, you've got to leave us, we've only got 4.5 minutes left. And without that, we would have won the race. And I don't doubt that, by the way, that they would have won the race without that bumper coming loose or being forced loose. Nico Ronde turning some of his best laps of the race in the 77 4th place McLaren. Meantime, the ST battle is hotting up as well. 26, Andrew Carbonell has Spencer Pumpelly ahead of him. They're going into the Oak Tree corner now. How's the 17 car got back up to 8th position? Ahead of that, the championship leader, Eric Voss, only in 7th position. James Vance in the 37 Mini ahead of them. Then Greg Leefergy in the 81 BMW.
Yeah.
So there's all change there.
Voss and Pumpelly together again, 56 and 17. We've seen that an awful lot this season, haven't we?
We certainly have. Not the worst result for James Vance, for Eric Voss and Jeff Mosing, because again, they might not be getting full points, but their championship rivals aren't doing that much better than them, if at all, in fact.
Correct.
So again, look to the big picture, as we said in our keys to the race. 3.5 minutes to go. Owen Trinkler goes through, leading ST.
Yeah, edging away now, inching away.
And he's just done the car's fastest lap of the race, a 2:05.1. Dean Martin thinks he's got half a chance on Robin Liddell and puts in the fastest middle sector of anyone through the race. That's extraordinary. He's now just 0.042 of a second behind Robin Liddell. That is literally on the bumper. Well, the bumper's actually 4 feet behind, so he probably is inside the rear bumper at the moment.
The number 81 car of Gregory Leefuger just found a way past the Mini of James Vance in the 37 car.
Oh, and it's just gone very wide at NASCAR turn 3. but James Vance is too busy trying to defend. Looks like the rear tyres on Lee Fugi's BMW aren't giving him the grip he would like. Mini, Porsche, Mazda. There are 4 cars together, 16 wheels, and they are going past us and you, wherever you are around the circuit, quicker than I can actually see it. They're so close together. And through turn 10 and heading up the hill towards the very tricky this weekend Oak Tree corner. Still Robin Liddell. Well, there's less bumper behind him now.
Yeah, it will be white flag next time around.
Well, I wonder if Shea is going to be brave enough to stick the microphone under Robin Liddell's nose and ask him what happened. It's still slowing that car down. Trent Hinman hasn't got past Dylan McEvan, by the way. He's done a lot of driving already today, and in fact, he's got another race to do, hasn't he, Trent? So he may be just thinking, I better save myself for later on. Yeah,
well, he knows even if he gets past now, it doesn't really mean anything.
Exactly so. Exactly so. Had to do that on the restart, really, didn't he?
Yep.
Had a good shot at it, in fairness. So the 28 Porsche leading for RS1 and leading the championship coming into this Continental Tire Sports Car Challenge will see the white flag this time around. There's 3.27 miles of VIR to go.
Where's the Ford?
Still to come through.
There it is.
Ford has dropped back.
Ground.
Ford has dropped back. Dean Martin's dropped it in the... Yeah, lost 5 seconds in the final part of the circuit, and that's put him right with Nico Ronde. Ronde is in with a chance of a podium finish here, Jeremy. Oh, and a slam down the inside from the Mazda of Andrew Carbonell on Spencer Pumpelly. Leaders are right there as well.
Other way around, that was Pumpelly continuing to try and make moves, I think, forward. No, you're right, I beg your pardon. It was 26 getting past 17. Number 17 car's made a lot of progress. He's got past on that last lap the number 56 car, Eric Foss, the championship leader, who's also been overtaken by the number 26 car.
Yes, and all of a sudden Eric Foss down in 10th position, but still scoring points. Remember, they had a handy, if not comfortable, lead of 14 points coming into this round.
Yes, over no more than that, no, 23 points over Nick Lance and Spencer Pumpelly. So they're only giving away a few points to the number 56 car.
Yeah.
And number 73, which is next in the championship, is a long way back.
Yeah.
There's a huge run there that Cayman has on the Mazda.
On the final lap. Oh, there's a touch at the roller coaster between the Freedom Motorsport car and the leader is right behind them. Now they'll get another lap, of course, if the 28 car doesn't go by, and I don't think he's going to. As the ST leaders have just seen the white flag, here comes Dylan McEvan. Is he going to deny these guys an extra lap? He is, and that could be really, really important. He goes through and passes a gaggle of ST cars, and the checkered flag waves for the 28 RS1 team. And the Dylans are through 2.7 seconds behind at the end. Robin Liddell put in a couple of great laps of 57.1. So without the incumbents of the aerofoil style rear wing that was working as an air brake, Robin Liddell putting in a really quick lap there at the end. Dean Martin comes through into third, holds on to third, but only by half a second from Nico Ronde and the McLaren. Now ST, Owen Trinkler with a second on Tyler Cook. They're halfway round the last lap. That gives us the opportunity to follow them all the way through up to turns 11 and 12, Oak Tree. Trinkler now just has to keep his cool. He'll be hoping that that new gearbox and the synchros holds out. He'll be listening for any odd noises, trying to watching his mirrors, watching his shift points.
The most experienced driver in this championship. This, I reckon, is 137th start, looking for win number 8. This will be win number 4 for Sarah Cattaneo with less than a mile to go.
Coming into the roller coaster for the final time for the CRG I Do Borrow Nissan Altima. And either he's hearing every rattle and scrape, or he's gone blissfully deaf at the moment, and even if it burst into flames, he wouldn't lift off to get to the checkered flag here. It's not going to be any of those. It is going to be a win in the sunshine and a great comeback story for a Nissan at a Nissan track. Sarah Cattaneo brought the car in and handed it over in good enough shape to Owen Trinkler, and Shea Adam is down in the 44 pit.
Well, for Sarah Cattaneo, getting out of the car at Road America, it wasn't a great stint, but it ended up being a great day. Sarah, you got out of the car, handed it over in perfect condition. Now you have a win at Nissan's home track. How cool is this?
Oh my gosh, it's so amazing. I can't even believe it. It feels like a dream. Honestly, this past few weeks, Road America getting engaged, now winning, like life couldn't be better.
There are tears in her eyes, John. There will be a big celebration here tonight. Congratulations, Sarah.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, and a great drive early on from Sarah. Did lead the race, went to second. Then a slight loss of concentration saw her off at Oak Tree and drop down. She didn't panic. She worked that 44 car back into contention. And Owen Trinkler, the closer, as we will have to start calling him now, was very impressive indeed. 28 car, the Dillons, has won in GS. We'll get a chat with them in a moment. And 9/10 of the 57 Chevy Camaro with Robin Liddell has come back into the pit lane. There's still that middle section hanging on that strap that the guys from Stevenson fastened on there. They'll be kicking themselves that they made that work so well. Let's go down to the RS1 pit. Shea Adam has the Dillon that's not in the car.
There is a big scream from Dylan Murcutt. Congratulations, you came in leading the points. Now you've got a win to go and back that up, and man, you got an even bigger points lead. How hard was that?
That was a huge day for us, man. Opening stint, I was trying to keep the car clean for him. I got the best co-driver in the field. Just a huge, huge day for us.
How good does it feel to get that monkey off your back in the first win?
It feels great. It really does.
Smiling from ear to ear. Congrats.
Thank you.
Yeah, looking in good shape for the championship without a win. Now with the win as well, that just adds an extra little bit of spice. Owen Trinkler, hand out of the window there. Some of the people that he will be doing his driving skill with on Monday and Tuesday up in the lodges up there, and I'm sure they are going absolutely bonkers. And they will be taking tuition from a Continental Tire Sports Car Challenge winner in ST on Monday and Tuesday, right here on the circuit that he got the victory with Sarah Cattaneo. What a week it's been for a car that's barely been on the track. Gearbox issues, clutch issues to start with, or at least that's what they thought. They did all kinds of work on the clutch, and then once that was working, they found they had a synchromesh problem inside the gearbox, so that had to be resolved. And Sarah Cattaneo only getting 4 laps before planting the car on the front of the grid. And a great battle all the way through, we should say, with the Bimmer World guys in the 84 car as well. Robin Liddell, a fighting second position, but I'm sure, Shea, that Robin will think of that as a win lost rather than a second gained.
Yeah, Robin, I hate to ask you this, but what happened out there to make the bumper even come loose? You got a hit from behind by the 28?
Yeah, I mean, he hit me on the back pretty hard coming down the hill before the restart. You know, obviously we were accelerating and braking to keep the tires clean because there was so much pickup out there on the sealer. You know, we called it in and he said I brake checked him, which for sure I braked, but everybody was accelerating and braking at that point, and I'm not very happy on the basis that we know where the restart zone is. It was in turn 17 itself. We were still a good 100 yards from turn 17. So even if he thought I was going to get a penalty if I'd gone there. So I'm sorry, it's his bad and I need to have a